for your
on a
chairs.
giant yacht
Right.
in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
On my own island.
Ocean.
Specific. Which one? The specific one.
Specific one. Okay. The big one.
That's funny. Which specific one? Yeah, that one.
Anyway, so she's talking about this and how Nicholas Flamel not only was the creator of the Sorcerer's Stone and all that, but he was friends with Dumbledore, like the card said, and also explains that he is 665 years old, also married to
We're going to go with Purinell.
Perella?
Nope.
Perella?
No.
Purell.
Purell. Hand sanitizer.
However you say it. How do you say it?
I think it's Paranel.
Yeah.
Paranel. Anyway, who's also 658 years old. I wrote that fact down because of us talking about it before, how you, Jade, had mentioned Dumbledore being the headmaster when
Voldemort?
when Hagrid and Voldemort both were in school.
He was a transfiguration teacher.
Was wondering how old he was himself. So he's got to be pretty old, obviously, if his friend is right there at 660.
Yeah, so you think his friend, slipped him some of this shit?
Now, there you go. That could probably... I didn't even think about the fact that they both have access to the Sorcerer's Stone.
I mean,
outlive anybody and everybody.
Wait, I'm a little confused about this, okay? I understand how a stone could turn metal into gold, possibly. I'm a little confused about how it produces elixir of life. Could you milk it?
Okay, you went a little astray with that.
Or you put shit in a cauldron and then throw the stone in it and mix it with it?
Or
That's what I was going to go with. You have to have the stone that would turn liquid instead of metal into the purest form it could produce. That sound right? Since gold is the purest form of metal.
Right.
No, I'm with you. 100% on this. Real life example, water infusion bottles. You put the fruit in there, and then it, flavors the water. I'm thinking this stone, flavors, air quotes, the water.
Okay.
So you would make a potion that has the stone in it, and the stone, in turn, would react with the potion to create the elixir of life.
Okay.
There's some mojo going on.
But the way they made it sound is like the elixir of life came out of the stone.
They said produces, which implies,
right.
milking.
Right. Well,
because
I was thinking about it the same way you guys are, that they would probably put it in a cauldron and do some shit, and then they would, whatever was in the cauldron would be the elixir. But it didn't really read that way. It did read, like Jade's saying, it has to come out of the stone.
I mean, I'm sure it doesn't, because, you can't get, water from a stone, or whatever the saying is. But you can't get blood from a stone. You can't squeeze blood from a stone.
Exactly.
But, I don't know. She chose weird phrasing.
I kind of thought that maybe the elixir is produced from the material that the stone is made of, but it's held inside the stone itself. So in order for you to get it out, you had to perform some sort of magic on the stone.
You're getting too technical.
I know, but I mean...
Listen, his thoughts are his thoughts.
Magic and physics don't always get along, James. Jade said that.
You gotta whack the stone with your wand.
Yeah, you have to perform a specific...
spell.
Yeah, no, I got it right. Specific spell.
I got you.
and then you could get the liquid out of the stone, milking it with magic.
Milking it with magic.
If you will. You've all thought about it.
Using your wand.
I'm sure you've thought about milking it with magic.
Listen.
With your wand.
So Hermione says that has to be what the dog is guarding.
Yep.
There's no question about it. And Flamel must have known somebody was after it, so he asked Big D to move it out of the Gringotts. And anyone would want this. Like, we established this earlier. All of us would basically just be totally fine with just having it. Because gold.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
And life.
You pretty much win the life game if
Yeah.
you get the stone. So it's clear why there are probably people who have less than honorable intentions who want the stone.
Right. Everything lines up nice and tight with a bow.
Mm-hmm.
Harry says he's for sure going to play this game. They got distracted for a little while by the Flamel thing, but he's going to play the Quidditch game.
Yeah, he's not going to let Snape reffing the game scare him away.
Yeah.
He's like, no, because if we beat him, then I get to beat him once. Like, I get to have a victory over this true asshole of a person.
Wipe the smiles off those snakes' faces.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Harry knows that Ron and Hermione are super worried when they leave him right outside the locker room. They might never see him again. He's worried that Snape is going to, like, pull some bullshit during this game. The whole team's really nervous. It's not just him.
Oh, yeah, everybody's on edge. They know that they need to play a super, super clean game if they're going to be able to play at all. Because if they do anything wrong, Snape is going to be all over their ass.
Right. And when Hermione and Ron get up to the stands, Neville doesn't understand why they look all upset or why they have their wands. I'm a little confused by that. Because in the last game, they all had their wands and it was no fucking big deal. Everybody kind of, I thought, kept their wand on them, like, all the time. Because it's, like, an essential part of your being if you're a wizard.
Yeah,
Right.
Why wouldn't you have it?
It's like having a watch or a phone.
Right. They're like, oh, I have my thing. Don't look at my thing in my arm.
That stuck out to me, too. Like, it's kind of implied that they always have them. Always.
Right.
You have your fucking wand.
So I don't know why that was pointed out to us. And Neville didn't understand. Well, Neville's a fucking idiot then, isn't he?
Be nice to little Neville.
It's not my fault. Did you read what it said?
I mean, I did read what it said, but just feel bad for the kid.
Well, get it together, Neville.
I do like how they got a little inspiration from Neville in what they were going to do to Snape if anything happened.
Oh, yeah.
They're just going to curse him the same way Malfoy cursed Neville.
Which would totally just rack his nuts if he was on his broom, by the way.
You know, I didn't think about that.
was
That
the
would
first
be
thing
the
I thought
worst thing ever. You know, that's awful. So Harry comes out, and he's looking around, and he notices that Dumbledore is sitting out in the crowd. And he's like, cool, Snape can't fuck with me. I'm untouchable. And he gets this confidence. But why does he get so much confidence out of Dumbledore being there? Like, that doesn't really prevent anything. The president watches the Super Bowl. Foul play happens all the fucking time.
I think it's because he knows that Dumbledore would never allow... Like, because it's implied that Dumbledore was not at the last game.
Okay.
That this is like homecoming, maybe, instead of like the regular football games. Everybody comes to this one. The stoners, the loners, every motherfucker in the school comes to this game.
The stoners and the loners.
I like how you rhymed that. That was quality.
That's good.
Yeah. And I think he just... If he fucks with me during this game, Dumbledore's going to know what's happening because Dumbledore's not an idiot. And he's probably going to put a stop to it and or punish Snape afterwards.
So Harry's assuming that Dumbledore would be able to tell
Right.
if something was amiss, and he would probably step in and do something about it, especially now that Harry and Dumbledore have a little...
Right.
They're chums now.
Right. And we know that Dumbledore's kind of a badass because we've read the back of his chocolate frog card a couple times now.
That's true.
So.
He's defeated a dark wizard.
And Voldemort was scared of him. That's what
Right.
Hagrid said. So.
Dumbledore's kind of a badass.
So Harry's probably like, well, yeah, Snape's fucking toast. He's not going to do shit.
You'll see that the big D is kind of a BA.
Ah!
Whoa.
And I've had 2 drinks. Go me.
Look at that.
So then, I mean, quick as fuck, they're off. They don't waste any time getting into this game. There's no ceremony beforehand, nothing. They're just going.
Right.
I don't know why they didn't notice he was there beforehand. But Malfoy is sitting directly behind him and starts fucking with them almost immediately, which I also thought was kind of reminiscent back to our high school days, because, you know, you'd go to a ball game, but we never really watched football. You were just kind of walking around with your crowd, and instead of watching the game, it's more of a social atmosphere. So cliques, some mesh and some don't, and Malfoy happens to be sitting right behind these guys and starts fucking with them right away because that's just what you did.
Well, he did it on purpose. Like, literally, you couldn't sit anywhere else. You couldn't sit with other stupid Slytherin people. You had to sit right behind Ron and Hermione and Neville. You did that shit on purpose. Malfoy, you know you did.
Well, Slytherins aren't playing this game. It matters to them what the outcome is, but they aren't playing. So, really, Malfoy probably doesn't care about watching this game. So Malfoy literally only came there just to fuck with Harry's friends.
Right.
Just cause a problem, because he has nothing better to do on this lovely afternoon, I think.
I actually really liked this because Neville, what I feel was like his first time actually sticking up for himself. And it's because of what Harry said when he had the leg locker curse. Harry was telling him, you're 12 times what Malfoy is, and so that's exactly what he says to Malfoy, and you were like, fuck yeah, get him, buddy. I kind of thought he was going to swing on him. He didn't, but he still stuck up for himself. It was because of Harry. The note that I made was, it really, the little things you say to people can really fucking make a difference. And to Neville, that little thing Harry said, which was just Harry's nature, you know, Harry probably didn't think anything of it.
Right.
And Neville was like, you know what? Fuck yeah. I am better than Malfoy. Fuck that kid. Even if he is going to make my life a living hell, I'm not going to make it easy for him. Like, why would I just lay down and die for Malfoy?
Right. And as we're watching, this is all happening during the middle of the game. And what I thought was interesting was we don't get Lee Jordan's commentary at all during this game, which I thought kind of sucked because there's a lot of fouls happening that nobody is apparently calling. And I would have loved to hear what he was screaming up there in that commentary box. Or did they not let him do it because Snape was the referee?
No, instead you got Malfoy making his comments about how they pick the Gryffindor's team. What?
I'm sorry. You went into the mic and then you looked at me to make sure. No, you were totally fine to begin with. I just saw it and I thought it was funny.
Malfoy starts giving them shit about how they pick the Gryffindor's team and how he makes it a point to tell them that it's all the people that they feel sorry for, like Harry because he's got no parents, the Weasleys because they're poor and have no money. And then he looks at Longbottom and he tells him, you should be on the team because you don't have any brains. Which pisses him off really bad.
Yeah, Ron ends up telling Malfoy, one more word and you're gonna fucking get it. Right as Harry goes into a dive. Narrowly missing Snape.
I find this super hilarious because Hermione's like, oh shit, something's going on. And then she's watching Harry, and then right next to her, there's some shit going on because before you know it, there's Malfoy and his two goons with him, and they're swinging and throwing punches with Ron and Neville even gets in on it, throwing punches at them, and Ron taking down Malfoy. So that's all going on next to her, and then she's watching the game and actually paying attention.
I want to make just a really small sidebar. The term that J.K. Rowling uses to describe this fight is a world of fists. When I heard that, I was like, fuck yeah, that is awesome. They all just finally went the fuck at it, nice and proper. Let's have it out, boys. I was like, yeah, we finally got a good scrap.
But Harry, after he misses Snape, comes up with his arm, up, because he caught the fucking snitch.
Bam.
Faster than anybody else has ever caught the snitch. That they can remember at the school anyways. 5 minutes.
Right, yeah, it was like a 5-minute game. Boom, he's caught it, they're done. They just won. Bam. In your face, Snape. In your face, Malfoy.
Eat it.